So there's 20 flags in a row, 30 rows for 600 flags. It is very impressive. It's stunning, and the way they light it, it's very impressive. Shall we go? Shall we walk? I like to stay active. All right, let's go. There's a lot of call for volunteers, and I have time, and I guess it runs in our family, the military service and patriotism. And my name is Jay Dover Romline. I was in the United States Army from 1973 to 1976. I was in the 3rd Battalion, 16th Field Artillery. Good girl. Tonight I'm doing what they call night watch. I'm just walking around from 10 to 2 to keep an eye on things and make sure that nobody tampers with the flags and everybody's respectful. Rally around the flag, boys, we'll rally around the flag. You find ways to pass the time. Shouting the battle cry of freedom. But I got a buddy with me this time. I'm a little bit more comfortable than usual. I'm not wearing all my gear, and the weather's great. Yeah, a tour of guard duty was never this easy. It gives you a chance to think about, maybe what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, where you're going. It's nice to have time to yourself to spend alone and with your own thoughts. In this setting, it kind of takes you back, lets you think a little bit about those days when you were younger and life was a little bit less complicated. Good girl, maybe. What I like about it is it's not the veterans themselves that it's doing it, it's the civilians who are honoring the veterans. That's the true meaning of appreciation, that they understand what veterans have done, what they do, what they give up, what their families give up, and the sacrifices they make. And some make more sacrifices than others, and some make the ultimate sacrifice. It's really heartwarming to know that the civilians appreciate that. All service counts, and even those that stand and wait serve. So there are those that serve mightily, and there are those who just serve. But it all counts. It's all in service to the country. Good girl, maybe. I'd do this any day. Good girl. Especially if I get my buddy. She gets to come with me, I'm happy.
Hi, how are you?
People are excited. This is a moment for them.
I want you to relax your arm, okay?
We have been waiting for this, yes.
We're out here today executing on a mass vaccine site.
I don't want to get COVID. And if I do get COVID, I would like to not get it as severe.
We are looking to vaccinate over 2,500 individuals today. How's it going?
Doing well. How's it going? I'm a senior at Bora High. What do you need? These two?
These two, yeah.
Senior year's been pretty rough, especially with everything going on with COVID. And I'd like to get back to normal and maybe have a prom. That'd be, best case scenario.
Your left arm okay?
Yep, absolutely. But if not, then, whatever keeps people safe and, reduces the amount of people dying from this.
When you're done, just the Band-Aid.
I'm okay with doing my part and just getting a little shot.
We'll just have you pull forward and you'll be there for about 10, 15 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Have a good day.
You too, ma'am.
For us, it's imperative that we get a high enough percentage of Idahoans to elect to be vaccinated so that we can have a level of protection in our state.
This is our second. So after this, we're all done. It's ready to get the heck out of Dodge and go have fun.
Okay, relax your arm for me.
I think that's what everybody that's been holed up for a year has been wanting to do. All done?
That's it.
Ow!
Too late. Too late. You're a liar. All right, have a good day.
Band-Aid on the arm, right up there. Didn't hurt at all, no. Get the whole country out to do it, and then we can get over with, the 2020 is definitely behind us.
Okay, all done.
That was incredibly quick.
We really just are treating today like a celebration.
People have said freedom when they got their shot. They've videotaped it. They've been very grateful. It's amazing. I think it is giving people a little bit more hope that they can get back to normal. And I know we're still going to have restrictions, but it does give a little bit of hope that we're getting toward the end. All set.
From the bottom of our heart, we're grateful to Idahoans willing to educate themselves, find out for themselves, and elect to do their part for public health. We're really grateful.
All right.
On my way. Cannot wait. Should be fun. Looking forward to it.
There's a reason people pull over and slow down in the middle of West Point Road in the middle of Gooding County.
You're in Wendell, Idaho, out in the middle of nowhere.
This middle of nowhere, in the middle of winter, becomes the center of attention
See the birds?
for avid and amateur birdwatchers.
I just think they're such majestic creatures.
As all eyes, whether with the aid of a cell phone screen or the eyepiece of a longer lens,
I'm not real good with binoculars. There we go.
focus on the middle of this field, on a bunch of bald eagles balanced on these cottonwood branches.
It's cool how they all bunch in one tree.
Or 2 or 3 trees.
They all look so serious.
They're also rigid about their roosting routine.
They just keep coming back every year.
Right about the time the temperatures tip toward freezing, those evenings, the eagles start alighting on these limbs.
That guy's just been ruffling his feathers and moving. He's still sitting on that branch all by himself.
And the cars start stacking up on the shoulder of this road.
We get people from all over.
We drove in from Pocatello just to see them.
We get them from Boise to actually out of state to come see these birds, and it's actually pretty impressive.
April Janes owns the West Point, the cafe that sits pretty close to the eagle trees. April can't remember a season they haven't shown up.
So they've been coming way before I was ever here.
Locals like to believe it's been at least the last 15 years. The people,
But it's definitely become a lot more popular.
not nearly as long.
I just wonder what they talk about.
Like Lisa Haney,
There we go.
who you might consider an onlooker come lately,
Mostly just this year. Sometimes I just sit and watch.
but usually she brings her camera.
You can't ever have enough pictures of bald eagles.
She says she easily has 100 of them.
There was a ton of them.
Her favorite,
And the most beautiful sunset I think I've ever seen.
the sunset shots she took in December.
It was just pink and yellow and orange and yeah, then I was hooked.
Like a lot of others who stopped to sneak a palpable peek of the American emblem.
Did you see him flying?
Something that is usually only seen in solitude.
I mean, I've seen eagles occasionally, especially in the canyon, flying around, but never anything like this, like a whole colony of them. Is that what you call an eagle clan?
No, it's called a convocation. But that's not the only unknown out here.
And I wonder why right here.
That's the same question
Good question.
that's asked by almost everyone.
That they come back every year.
And it's an answer no one
And it's a mystery, I don't know why.
seems to know.
Maybe the fish, maybe the Snake River, maybe we don't really know. I don't have any idea.
The Snake River, as the eagle flies, is about 5 miles away. So it's not like it's close, but it's not like it matters.
You're here and it's cool, yeah. Don't question it.
Just appreciate the roadside sanctuary of these birds of prey.
It's pretty awesome.
You might think a day up at Bogus Basin begins on the ski lift. Nope. Or maybe when you click into those skis? How about the parking lot? Not even close. Diehards say your day at Bogus begins on Bogus Basin Road, about 4 miles up to be exact, where the asphalt is accentuated by an acoustic cattle grate. But just crossing it is only part of it.
What's the story of the cattle grate?
It's just, I think skiers in general are very superstitious.
That superstition stems from not what's on the road, but what supposedly lives under it.
The trolls? You just want me to talk about the troll?
That's our legend up here at Bogus Basin. You open your doors. You have to open your doors.
As soon as you go over that cattle grate, you gotta open the doors.
It's a legend
Oh gosh.
that's lived
Well,
a long time.
in the 60s,
The trolls are even celebrated with an eclectic collection at the crossing and with a sign behind the Simplot Lodge bar. However, their origin story is rather elusive. Some say it started as snow snakes that you would lift your feet to avoid.
And somehow it's evolved into trolls. How that happened, I have no clue.
These days, avoiding this tradition and the trolls is done so at your own risk.
I've heard it that you let the troll in because he's good luck on the way up.
They move around, they kick snow up, they will actually make snow.
And by giving the trolls a ride up to the resort, you're guaranteeing a good day on the slopes.
So when you ski, then the snow will be good. The trolls make the snow good.
But oh, if you don't.
Oh, I don't know. We've never not done it. You just gotta do it.
The weather conditions will change. You know, it'll get icy, more bumps in the road.
Maybe you didn't do it one day, you forgot to, and you had a really bad day, you wrecked hard or you got hurt, I don't know.
There's a lot that's left to the imagination with this mythical mystery, like how it got started.
If you don't do it or you don't know about it, somebody's gonna be in front of you and all of a sudden they open their door and you're like, what the heck is that?
As for how it keeps going, well, that's easy to see.
One of our friends always did it and we didn't really know what they were doing, so we asked about it and then we just started doing it.
I heard it from my dad about it.
Kind of like that family time on the hill. It's just another way of opening and closing the generation gap on the way up the hill.
And if you've been skiing here since you were a kid, you know, in the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, and you did that when you were younger, it's just something that we get to do as a parent. And, like, you get to instill in your kids and be like, hey, this is fun, you know?
You also have to know what goes up must also come down.
When you cross that cattle guard, you open the door and you let them out so they can have a good night's rest.
And be ready for another day.
It's something we do going up Bogus.
It's Saturday on Valencia Street, which means you're either wrestling with yard work,
But they also have one of the coolest modern art museums we've ever been to.
or you're headed to another neighborhood hang, done with distance
Oh, like you just like a box mix?
in the Prouty driveway.
We went in for happy hour and we walked out with a $210 bill.
Well, hell yeah.
For the past year, every Saturday, Fred and Vicky Prouty's place becomes more of the party place, a practice, a product of the pandemic.
It was like, we're all on lockdown. Like, what happens next?
Well, that first weekend of the statewide stay-at-home order,
And we couldn't see our kids. We couldn't go to work.
Vicky had an idea.
It was spring cleanup day. I'm in the backyard. And I could hear these guys doing the same thing. And I heard the neighbors on that side doing spring cleanup. I said, hey, you guys, do you want to meet in the driveway at 5:30? Happy hour? Yes, 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 yes. So I said, meet in the driveway at 5:30.
And they did, but not before word spread down the street.
That's right. Michelle and David were walking along, and I was in the yard, working on the yard, and they were like, oh, we're having happy hour later. And my ears peaked up, and I was like, happy hour? People? I'm going.
March 28th
And they brought their chairs, and they brought their chairs, and
marked the beginning
that was our first night.
of a bounty of beautiful friendships.
We really didn't know each other. I didn't know these folks. I didn't know that couple, and they didn't know each other.
We've noticed our neighbors, but we really didn't know them very well.
They live on the corner?
They're our neighbors?
But we don't feel that way now.
One day we woke up, and we were still kind of like, we don't really know anyone. And the next day we knew everyone.
They're from Hawaii.
Oh, my gosh.
For Vicky, being a wedding officiant, it's kind of in her nature to bring people together.
I just felt it was the right thing to do because we were scared. And who would have thought what 2020 was going to turn into?
Well, it turned into an every weekend entry on this Southeast Boise community calendar.
This is no different than what we've done all through 2020.
Stronger than steel and wood.
And they've done it with music and with fire pits and like this Saturday with breakfast breads.
You don't have one in your backyard yet? It's time.
They now know more about each other
I've tried the paddleboarding. I'm not good at it.
and each other's families.
Doug is an independent cinematographer.
And
have you seen Dirtiest Jobs?
They're doing all the neighborly things.
You dropped your mask.
Like mail and trash cans and garage doors.
Yes, and you have been known to leave your garage door open.
We have.
That come with being connected by more than just an address.
So it's just instant neighborhood.
That it took a global health crisis to see the world beyond their own yard hasn't gone unnoticed.
I would hate to think that it wouldn't have happened, but it was kind of a reason, I guess, for it to happen.
So, will it continue past the pandemic? Probably.
If Vicky stays in charge, it'll never end.
It's now going to take a lot more than that,
Yeah, it's starting to chill down.
or a little rain, to stop the Valencia Street Saturday shindigs
It's been a really powerful thing that we've done, and it took all of us to do it.
and break the bonds
It brought everybody from their doors to the driveway.
created by the coronavirus.
It's just been fabulous.